Mayfield. Deep. He's got it. Mike Evans. That's a Buccaneer touchdown.
What is going on, Bucs fans, NCFP fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today we are going to be going over the players to watch for the Buccaneers Week 5 Thursday Night Football matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. The first divisional matchup of the 2024 season for the Buccaneers. And it's a critical one. It is one where, look, the Buccaneers, if they lose this game, they would actually not be first place in the NFC South anymore, because both Atlanta and Tampa would be 3-2. Atlanta would have the tiebreaker over Tampa, so Atlanta would be in first place. However, if the Buccaneers were to win this game, improve to 4-1 on the season, that would be go a long way in determining, and look, there's a lot of football to be played, but that would go a long way in determining and helping the Buccaneers win this division by standing alone at the top of the NFC South. So pretty big divisional matchup here. Let's get right into the players to watch for this week's matchup, including my X Factor will be at the end. We're going to start off on the offense with quarterback Baker Mayfield. Now, I know a lot of times we do include him in these lists. It's not intentional. It's just a lot of times a lot of eyes are going to be on the quarterback, right? And it's going to be on Baker, and he bounced back in a massive way, a massive way on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. A dominant performance by Baker and the entire team, but the offense got it started quickly, right? Got it started right from the get-go and never really let off the gas. And that's exactly what they need to do in that game. Got that bad taste out of their mouths, right, from the Denver game. So can't let up here, though. You know, this is a big-time matchup on the road on a short week. The Buccaneers need Baker Mayfield, who is going up against a pretty talented Falcons secondary, especially, A.J. Terrell, Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons. They got a lot of players back there, a lot of good players. So, there's definitely some talent back there. But Baker Mayfield's going to have another good day for the Buccaneers to succeed here. We are also going to be taking a look at the Buccaneers offensive line, not singling anybody out. I Bleav, point out as well last week. I said the Bucs offensive line. I didn't want to single anybody out. It's a unit. And last week against Philly, again, they bounced back. They played, quite well against Philly, and they need to do it again this week. You got to give Baker Mayfield time. Does he need to stand in the pocket? Yes, but you have to give him time to operate in this offense. You have to open up running lanes as well. You don't want to be a one-dimensional football team, right? You don't want to have Baker Mayfield throw the ball 50-plus times, even though he almost did it last week, and it worked quite well. But ideally, every week you wouldn't want that. So, you want your offensive line to be doing well, and hopefully the Bucs can make it 2 straight games here with a solid offensive line showing. Next up, we're going to move over to the defensive side of the football. Talk about the defensive line, and I know it's boring, but I'm looking to see if this defensive line not maybe replicate what they did on Sunday, with 6 sacks. I don't know if that's realistic to expect that, but see if they can get some momentum going, right? It was easily the best game that this defensive line, this front 7, had played for the Buccaneers so far this season, and it was great results. We'll see if they can do it again. I'm very curious to see if they can do something similar again, right? Create consistent pressure. Look, Kirk Cousins is not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to be able to scramble, avoid those yards, this and that. Kirk Cousins is not going to be able to avoid those pass rushers as much. So it's going to be difficult for Kirk Cousins. If you can continue to put consistent pressure on him, it could be difficult for the Falcons offense to move the ball consistently. So I think it's a big key in this game, especially up the middle, right? Guys like Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey probably going to be out this week. Yet again. So guys like Vita Vea, I think, are going to have another massive game, and hopefully they can. Hopefully they can step up, and the defensive line in general, right? That goes for the edge rushers as well. Yaya Diaby, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Chris Braswell, I thought all had pretty good games. Anthony Nelson even had a sack. He had a good game. So hopefully they can do something similar to what they can last week. I'm not asking for 6 sacks. Again, I don't think that's realistic. I still think this pass rush needs some work, needs some improvement, but hopefully they can use last week as sort of a stepping stone, right? And kind of go from there. So I'm going to be taking a look at the defensive line for sure. The other player I'm going to be taking a look at is Zyon McCollum. Now, McCollum has drawn a lot of praise, rightfully so. I mean, rightfully so from the Buccaneers, from Twitter. from social media, whatever it may be. He's drawn a lot of praise, and like I said, it is deserved. The Buccaneers took a massive chance on Zyon McCollum to start this season, trading away Carlton Davis and basically saying, hey, like, Zyon, you're the guy. Like, you're going to be the number 2 cornerback on this team. Jamal Dean's been there. He's going to be quarterback 1, and we're thrusting you into a role. And McCollum, to his credit, has stepped up immensely. I mean, really, has stepped up in a big way and has been the team's best corner. I mean, he has been the Buccaneers' best cornerback through 4 games. Again, a lot of football left to be played, but so far the early returns of Zyon McCollum are pretty good. He's going to be going up against Drake London a little bit in this game, I would imagine. So I think, excuse me, Drake London is a pretty talented, player, and that's going to be a matchup that I think the Buccaneers are going to have to try and win if they're going to have success in this football game. So Zyon McCollum, looking at you, brother. See if you can put another repeat performance out there like you've done so many times. I mean, he was in a game full of not so bright spots against Denver. McCollum even stood out in that game as a bright spot. So that tells you how good his season has been. And the Buccaneers taking a chance, taking a swing. It looks like they may have hit, and maybe not a home run, but maybe a double, maybe a triple. They definitely made contact when they took that swing. So definitely keep an eye on Zyon McCollum. Now, let's get to our X factor in this game. This is the person who I think needs to have a big day to ensure a Buccaneers victory. Okay, ensure a Buccaneers victory. Last week, I Bleav I said Cody Mauch. Cody Mauch had a pretty decent day. The Buccaneers went out and dominated. This week, we're going to stay on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to go to Chris Godwin. Now, Godwin has been on a tear, right? Godwin's been on a roll. Last week was actually the first game all year that he did not have a touchdown. So he had touchdowns in each of the first 3 games of this season, and he was the team's leading receiver. Mike Evans, ended up having the better day against Philly, having a monster day, but Godwin got his as well. Godwin was productive against Philly, just didn't find the end zone. And the Falcons have struggled against guys in the slot. So here, Godwin has achieved 60 yards in his last 3 matchups against Atlanta. Okay, so 60 yards. Now he is going up against a different defense, Raheem Morris's defense. But the Falcons slot corner has given up 6 catches for at least 50 yards in every game this year. So Chris Godwin has a pretty decent matchup. We know the Buccaneers are liking to putting Chris Godwin in the slot, putting him back there where he was in the Bruce Arians offense. It has worked so far. Early results are definitely positive, and he has a pretty good matchup. So I did, if you watch Betting the Bucs, which if you haven't, go ahead and check Betting the Bucs out before the game. Maybe you can win some money. I took a Godwin anytime touchdown, though. That was one of the props that I took, and I did like it. I think that Godwin has a good matchup here in his advantage, and hopefully he can take advantage of that. So he is my X factor for this game. What players are you watching, though? I'm always curious to hear what you guys have your eyes on in this game. Please let me know in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go Bucs.